Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Oh, start video. Okay.
Yeah,
Usually I have the video off.
there we go.
There.
Connecting with the audio here.
Can you hear me?
You guys hear me?
I
Yeah.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you guys just fine. We are hopefully live on Facebook if I did all the magic right. So I am here. This is COVID Communities number 7, and with Jules and Jonas. And I am. Hold on. Let me check something real quick. I've got my note card here, and I think it
That's a three
says
by five card of allowable opinion.
superhero by night and mild mannered report. No, wrong one. So we got Jonas is a compliance officer for large insurance company, and Jules is an attorney specializing in business and criminal law, which hopefully at times you can make a distinction between. I'm sure sometimes they do overlap. Um, so we're here to talk. They've been a couple for been together for a couple years now, right? We met out in Iowa, correct?
Yeah. It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, we've been dating for about 2 years now.
Depends on who you
Congratulations.
ask. If you ask Jonas, it's really close to 2 years. If you ask me, it's more about a year and a half. Depends on who you ask.
Talking,
Guys have
Yeah.
different views of things sometimes. Um, so I've got a couple of questions that I just asked people. I'm trying to get a feel for what things are like now in COVID-19 land. And just to start off with, go ahead. Could you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Fantastic. You go first, Jules.
Oh, great. Hi, I'm Jules. I am a lawyer. Well, more importantly, I'm a mom and I'm a girlfriend, and uh, I love taking care of my family. I'm a woman, so I shoulder a lot more um, household tasks where my partner shoulders a lot more financial burden and plans out the financial stuff more than what are we gonna having for dinner, what are we gonna defrost for dinner tonight.
Mhm.
So I mean it's a fair share, but
Right,
um,
different domains.
right, and I think both of us understand the roles fairly well, and I really enjoy mine.
Fantastic. And how about you, Jonas?
I also am a lawyer. I work for an insurance company in town here, financial services industry. Interesting enough, I used to be on the other side of things where I wasn't able to, I didn't separate the criminal from the other the business aspect of it, and I used to prosecute or bring enforcement actions against large companies for fraud. Was predominantly what I was my bread and butter. Um, so yeah, I also am, I'm a dad. What else should I say about myself, Jules?
Yeah, obviously a very handsome and talented man to get such a lovely and wonderful woman. So
Extremely fortunate.
I think all of us men with wonderful women feel that way. I hope they would feel the same way about us too. So I'm going to ask, how has COVID-19 affected you guys? What has it meant for you guys, and your family, and in your work, and in your communities?
Um, well, we had and still have a roller coaster of, 1 hour we are overreacting and the other hour we feel like we are underreacting. Luckily, they alternate. When I'm overreacting, Jonas is underreacting, and vice versa. So we have not overreacted together yet. So our house is still standing. We have not boarded up windows, although we know people who are planning on it.
Mhm.
And in general, we try to make the best of it, right? We maintained 2 households up until now, and we planned on moving in together this summer when my older son was getting ready to move out and go to college. Um, and so COVID-19 kind of pushed us to combine the households and made sense to maintain one household versus two. And so we're slowly blending and merging, and we're slowly moving Jonas's stuff and finding the right home for it rather than doing it in bulk. So I think we're trying to make the best of it, and we're trying to make it a positive experience.
I'd like to reiterate a little more on that, though. Jules mentioned slowly moving in. I think that it certainly expedited our timeline, right? Our plan was to kind of slowly move in, and instead
Right.
it became much more. I mean, a lot more sense for us to get our kids together, get ours together in one place. We're able to then pool resources and maintain, just comfort and security, as opposed to, my daughter and I staying, at the townhouse here and then, going over to Jules' house for dinner and then coming back or, vice versa. It just became easier for us to act like we are, to become a real family or to become a family much quicker, much sooner than we expected.
So that is
It was
something
grateful.
I'm sure unexpected, right? You guys were planning for it, but having it happen like all at once is a little
Well,
bit of
see,
surprise.
I look at it differently. Like we planned on moving all of their stuff in July, right? So our timeline was farther, but we planned on doing it all in bulk. Instead, we moved the timeline for closer, right? But we're doing it piece by piece. We're doing it a box of books a day. So so I have time to find a place for a box of books, right? And
Yeah.
so, and I actually enjoy that a lot more because I don't have like an avalanche of stuff that I need to find home for.
But like Jefferson, I could not live without my books.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I remember the last time we moved, I got my brothers to help me, and there was actually a small truck full
Mm.
of books, and they told me, "This is fantastic. You have a lovely house. Never ask us to help you move again."
Right.
So books were the
Right.
deal breaker. So how are the kids handling it with all of a sudden being together and on top of all this uncertainty? Is it something that seems to be a help to be together, or are there additional strains?
Oh, absolutely. No, the kids have responded very, very well. Um, they love each other, I think they've absolutely enjoyed this. They understand. Right now, things are very confusing at home. As you know, you're trying to unpack boxes of books and kids and what have you. So things are in a disarray, right? To be sure, which is in a time of disarray, right? And so, but the kids have responded to it absolutely well. They have like sleepovers essentially, downstairs in the basement. Where I mean, they treat it that way though,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then they've given grace. Where they've given each other opportunity to kind of escape from from time to time. Um, the kids have been fantastic in this, and I'm very grateful.
I think we are really lucky that our children really enjoy spending time with each other.
Yeah.
So Jonas has Jonas's daughter is the youngest, and my boys are older. And my younger boy was never in the position of being an older brother, so he's a very protective big brother all of a sudden, right?
Good.
So he's never been in that position where he could, you know, feel protective. And I think that really appeals to him. And Addie really enjoys the boys being protective, and they all just have so much fun, and they are constantly loud, and they love it. They laugh all the time, which is fantastic. But
Mhm.
we are lucky. Like we've been saying this for the last year and a half that we're really lucky that the kids get along with each other. And so Jonas got kicked out of our youngest one's bedroom the other day because they were having a conversation, and he was interrupting it, right? And our kids are teenagers, so it could go so bad. And
Yeah.
instead of just we got really lucky with the fact that kids get along. I think they're struggling a lot more with lack of school.
Yeah.
My older son is a senior. He was
Oh.
supposed to walk through the halls as the god. He owns
Yeah.
the place, and he is deprived of that. And so he was almost in tears the other day when the governor announced that the schools are not going to be back this year, and was
Right.
like, "Had I known that my last day of Darling would be my last day," he was almost in tears. And it was funny. It was nice to see the feed of all the parents, and I'm friends with a lot of Dowling parents, all the parents saying that their seniors are saying the same thing. Um,
Yes.
and so I think they're struggling with that more. And Addie is a eighth grader, so this year was her last middle school year. So it's not as much of a milestone, but it's still she's deprived of
Close.
that.
Yeah.
Well, it
And
depends on
so
where you are, though. If you're the eighth grader, it's your
right.
challenges.
Right. And so I think that's more of a struggle than them having sleepovers and cleaning the house together and
Yeah.
walking dogs together. So
My girls are both. Well, my oldest actually is out in Delaware right now with her fiance. My two youngest are doing school from home. Everything's online, Zoom and on Google Hangouts and classes and whatnot. Um, I was really kind of worried about how they would deal with each other because they're teenage girls. They snipe at each other, and
mhm,
I am really, I have to admit, I'm impressed with them.
mhm,
They've done really well. There's still a lot of that sisterly bickering that goes
mhm,
on, but it has really changed in tone, become a lot more good natured. They're learning to live with each other instead of retreating, and
right,
I really do think that's a positive for them.
right.
Speaking of the you mentioned getting out a little bit and to walk the dog or whatever. Um, what's been going on in your community? What have you seen in terms of people helping or people coming together with each other? We've got people in my neighborhood that are volunteering to produce sew masks for other people or make grocery runs. Our neighbor across the street does grocery deliveries for people. What have you seen happening in your community?
Well, this is Iowa,
Mhm.
so it's
Mhm.
Iowa nice. So Iowa tries to help each other. So the majority of people in my circle try to go if they're ordering food out, they're trying to order it from local restaurants so that we can keep them going. I'm on multiple quarantine Facebook groups, and everybody posts, "Hey, if you need something, we'll come and get you." I have um, several friends who are older attorneys, and I know that all of their children grew up and they're in other states. So I systematically email them saying, "Hey, have you run out of wine yet?" you know, uh, you
But have
know,
you run out? Have you run out yet? Yes.
right. So and it goes both ways. There are people who check on us. There are people that we check on.
Mhm,
Jonas has a friend who was his dad's friend,
mhm,
and so we know that he's high risk and he doesn't go out very often. So we check on him once a week to make sure he has groceries. And
mhm.
a couple of weeks ago, we packed up a bag and took him groceries because realistically, we are less concerned because we're younger and we're healthy and we take care of each other. But there are people who are high risk and who do need help. And so, but then there are to younger people, we look like we're old and we need to be taken care of. So they check on us. So it's great, but
Mhm.
it's flattering yet not so much. But
Yes. I don't know. You two do not look like people who need to check on. I'm just
um,
no.
well,
No, that is awesome. That is one thing that I have appreciated seeing is, and I commented on this the other day. It seems like there's a lot of mistrust for the government, whatever wherever you're coming from, whatever side you're coming from, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. Um, you're looking at the way that the federal government's handled things and realizing that they've screwed a bunch of stuff up. And a lot of state governments seem to be kind of heavy-handed and not making some very good decisions one way or the other. But one of the things that I commented to somebody the other day that I've not heard a lot of complaint about is local communities, local governments. I know our Allegheny County Health Department very early on started when they said, "Hey, here are the guidelines for social distancing, 6 feet apart. Make sure that you're dealing with people appropriately. Try and reduce your trips to the grocery store and whatnot." One of the things they said right up front was, "But absolutely, we're not telling you to stay in your house. If get out, go for a walk with your family. Don't mingle with your neighbors, but get out, go for a walk, go for hikes. The parks are open. Go for bike rides. Get out and get some air. This is going to help a lot." And I know that a lot of people really appreciated that. Just that even that little bit meant a big difference between feeling like you were getting locked up and and shut down versus, hey, this is a bad situation, but we can make the best of it. So
Sure. I've been impressed with the you always get the jerk, the people are, causes the most commotion, right? But for the most part, people, I mean, I don't know where this person's coming from. The next person I run into with the story, not run into, but
Yeah.
pass by, or and people have been real graceful. You mean a person maybe unreasonably scared, or if they're at risk, or I don't know. If we all just try and get through, try and make a joke on things. You do with it with the cashier, with the people I run it, talk to out, on walks. I try to talk to people as much as I can. And people have been real graceful, real smiling, real happy, real helpful. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it is wonderful to see people when you're out, not being so afraid that they button up and oh,
hmm,
I can't talk to you.
right.
I've actually gotten a lot more friendly smiles and waves and good mornings from people, I think, that lately than I have in a long time. So that kind of brings us into the last couple of questions, and this is a pair uh, for you guys. Um, not one for each of you, but the question is, what have we been doing right during this, and what do you think we've been doing wrong? And when I say we, pick whatever level you want to talk about: federal government, state government, local government, your community or your family. What do you think has gone right, and what do you think has gone wrong?
You first.
Uh, what's gone wrong? Um, I can tell you that I am disappointed in the amount and the lack of testing, and I personally think that we should have taken. From what I understood, WHO had the World Health Organization had offered us as the country tests, and they were refused, saying that our local companies, our pharmaceuticals, will develop them. Right, and so that delayed the process quite a bit. Today, I read an article that there were um, quite a bit of tests that were already contaminated, and
Yes.
so that
Yep.
delayed the process quite a bit. And those tests were administered by CDC. So I feel that federal government could have acted a lot faster, could have done a lot more to protect the country, and could have underplayed the whole virus less. I feel there was a lot of, it doesn't matter, right? And it's not a
Mm.
big deal for a very, very long time. I think if we mass tested people as quickly as we could, isolated the infected people, and we would have minimized the impact that it has on our economy. But that's my feeling. Whether it actually is right or not, I don't know. I'm not an economist. As far as the local government is concerned, I feel our governor, Russians have this sad joke. There was a man who absolutely loved his dog, and his dog needed the tail cropping. So instead of cropping it all at once, he felt bad for the dog and he was cropping it piece by piece. And I feel like our governor was doing just
Only
that.
Russians would find that a joke.
Right. Um, and so I feel like our governor was doing just that. instead of
Yeah.
saying instead of going straight where we are now. Okay, we are quarantining, we're doing this and this and this as quickly as we can. We're shutting down schools, we're shutting down this and whatever. Whatever she is, whatever the point that we are at now, she should have started with that, right? Instead it was piece by piece. Well, we're going to close these places. Yeah, finally 2 weeks ago we closed malls. Why were they not closed on March 13th?
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
Right.
That
Right.
was one of the first things in Pennsylvania that got shut down.
No, we just shut them down. And so it and so I feel that that actually, prolonged the process. On the other hand, the majority of positive tests come from places like factories. Had we tested the factories as quickly as we could, maybe on
Right.
packing plants, maybe we would have contained this a lot faster. I don't know. I don't necessarily, I don't know the answer whether, shutting down the malls would have produced better results than testing the packing plants that we have plenty of, um, as quickly as possible. So, as far as what has gone right is people's response. I think people are generally kinder to each other. I think I see a lot of families closer. I see people checking on each other and helping each other, and that's very endearing. Um, on the other hand, people shame others for socializing. So, I mean, but I think I see generally a lot more kindness, and I think that is the one positive out of this whole experience.
I think we when we're all in something together, it's a lot easier for us to identify with other people. I think that's where some of that kindness comes from. Instead of having to consciously put ourselves in somebody else's situation, we're like, okay, we know exactly what you're going through. We've got that idea, so there's some sympathy there, just off the bat that makes it a little bit easier. Jonas, anything from you?
I think information has been the first casualty here. I don't know what source to get information from. I don't know what's true, what's not, what's just, clickbait,
Yeah.
what's on. I read a lot. I read various reports and there's a lot of doom and gloom that's lifted into the report. But if you read through it a little bit, you say, wait a minute, there's actually some good signs here. For example, the factories here or the meatpacking plants, all they do just is skyrocket our number of cases. Well, none of these people had symptoms, right? And the reason that they're getting tested was because in fact, they were doing the mass testing. Okay, well, that tells me something. That's a piece of information
Right.
that tells me more about what these numbers mean. But they want to lead with that shock. Oh my God, the number of cases went up 25%. Okay, well,
Right.
So I mean, and I think that's where, um, and we play into it, right? A person likes to consume that and spew it out. You know, a lot of drama going into these things. They call it the National Guard. Well, the National Guard was called out to start cleaning some of these factories. They weren't called
Right.
out to start
Yeah.
blocking roads, you
Yeah.
know. So I mean, but that's the headline. It depends on which side of the fence you're sitting on. Which headline you want to put on your meme, right? So I think that's what we've done wrong, right? Rather than having a thoughtful conversation, right, and allowing liberty to work, we've gone to this emotional response, which I think is very sad, and I think that's very very sad. And hopefully we're learning from. Hopefully people like our kids are learning from the next group of people that are going to experience this 10 years from now. Well, we've done well. We've done a lot very well. I'm an optimist. I think, nullification isn't just on the federal government or when I'm sitting on a jury. It's a matter of how I treat people and how I deal with things, right? I'm always going to try to be a kind person. I fall very far from it. I'm not perfect, but instead, and that's kind of how I should be all the time. I should be bringing my neighbors groceries. I should be giving them coffee. I should be
Good
calling them,
points.
you know and so that's what I think that people have been doing, and I've been trying to do more and learn from times I haven't been as diligent about that.
And that honestly is a very convicting to me to have someone from Iowa saying, this is teaching me to be nicer, because Iowa is probably full of some of the nicest people I think I've ever met in my life. So
We'd love to have you back. We had a great time seeing you.
you are going to have me back. You can't get
Good.
rid of me.
Good.
As a matter of fact, I believe I'm a lifetime member now. So
Fantastic.
so I have good reason to come back. No, seriously. One of the things as going around the country, in case anybody doesn't realize, Sam Robb 2020. I'm campaigning for president on the Libertarian ticket. I tend not to mention that for these things, but
Oh, but
yeah, I've gone. You think I should?
yeah.
I have met some truly fascinating and wonderful people in the Libertarian Party, and a lot of the folks that I've talked to on these COVID communities are fellow libertarians and people that I know who are interested in the Libertarian Party and interested in liberty. And
I'm still a Republican, by the way.
I I
I
got
am
my
not letting him change the address until he
I-
changes the parties, okay?
I attended the convention as a guest.
I am not changing. He is not changing the address like formally on his driver's license until he changes the party.
my wife actually at the Pennsylvania convention. We were standing in line. She was on her smartphone changing her registration because somebody asked her, said, "Are you going interested in being a delegate?" She said, "Why would I want to be a delegate?" She's like, "Well, you get to they're going to raise issues about the platform, and they're going to be voting for the president and vice president. She's like, hold on a second, let me get this in shape. So we got I got at least one person into the party. So I said that was the last question, but I'm going to surprise you with a extra special bonus question I've been throwing at people, and I'll ask you to, when all this is over, when everything's lifted and they finally say, yeah, fantastic, you're done with, quarantine's over, life goes back to normal on Monday. What are you guys going to do? What would you do to celebrate and get out?
Well, Jonas wants to go to a concert.
Yeah.
I want to go to Europe. So, with concert in Europe?
Right.
Concert in Europe. Fantastic. What kind of concert?
Depends on who's playing. I'd love to go see if The Cure is playing. The War on Drugs, David Gray, something we've been enjoying lately.
Scorpions.
Right.
I just dated myself, didn't I?
Oh my goodness! No, I would love to go see the Scorpions play. I'm dating myself there too.
Unfortunately, 4 years ago today, Prince passed away, so that's when we won't be.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I grew up in Minnesota, Minneapolis, South Side.
But he's not Iowa nice.
I hope that you guys. I really, really hope you guys get to go to Europe. See the concerts, see the sights. Me, oh wow.
What's your answer?
There is a place downtown in Pittsburgh that we refer to as the meat place. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. It's one of the ones where you go and you it's a flat fee, and they just bring around the big skewers full of meat and just slice it off for you. And we love taking friends there. And I especially love taking friends who have teenage boys, because it is just amazing watching what they could do. And seeing some 16, 17-year-old guy actually get to the point where he's like, no more. It's just really, it's an impressive evening. So I think I would maybe grab a couple of friends and their boys and head down and see maybe put my girls head to head with them, see how they do.
So my older one is a swimmer, right? And he is, hopefully, God willing, this is all going to be over. He's going to be swimming for college, hopefully in Vermont next year, right? Well, this year, right? So we're going to, during the swimming season, we're going to come and visit you and go to that restaurant.
Oh, fantastic.
Because
absolutely.
He may put them out of business. That child, he's 6'1". He's a swimmer, and he's built like a swimmer, and God knows he eats like a teenage boy who swims. So
okay. That is fantastic. No, absolutely. When you guys come through Pittsburgh, let me know. Sherry and I will take you three out. Absolutely.
When you get to Iowa, we'll bring you Iowa beef. We'll put it up.
Oh,
right.
There we go.
There we go. Tempting. No, we've got a couple of dates.
We feed the world.
Yeah, we have a couple of really good restaurants here that would most certainly impress everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being on. You have a great night, and I hope this all ends very quickly, and I hope to be able to see you guys soon, one way or another.
Yeah,
thank you very much for putting us together.
Good luck at the convention.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And I hope it still goes through, and I hope I get to see some folks from Iowa there.
Well, and that's the thing. My son was supposed to graduate that weekend. He was supposed to walk that weekend, so I never signed up to be a delegate because I was supposed to watch my kid walk on graduation. So I won't even be there, even if it's there.
Well, then you absolutely have to bring her into Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, you come visit Iowa. All right. Good luck.
There we go. You guys have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.